Google's Alpha Evolve AI writes its own code. Elon Musk's Grok runs amok in responding to tweets on X. And Sam Altman says you could tell how old someone is by how they use ChatGPT. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Google DeepMind has unveiled Alpha Evolve, an AI agent capable of autonomously generating and optimizing complex algorithms, and one of its first applications has led to significant efficiency gains across Google's infrastructure. AI generating code is nothing new. It's turned into a real focus in the search to get real ROI from AI models. And while generative AI has amazed a lot of people, and it's done a lot of things to improve efficiency, it's struggled to put together real-world actionable cases with a demonstrable ROI. And coding is one of the target areas that uses language, albeit simpler and more structured than English or other world languages, but it delivers a real and tangible benefit. Now, there have been some real discussions about the quality of the code or the security of the code, but many people have also criticized the creativity of the code, saying that would be the realm of the programmer forever. So there's a real competition to tune the models to deliver the best quality code. And it may be one of the prime reasons why OpenAI was willing to shell out $3 billion on an AI coding platform, Windsurf. Windsurf not only provides a development environment and tools, but it will also allow OpenAI to study how to improve their model's ability to generate code and to know what code is successful versus which is not. But Google's new Alpha Evolve may have taken the search for quality code even further. It combines two of Google Gemini's large language models with an evolutionary approach to algorithm development. And it's claimed that it's not able to just write structured algorithms drawing on past examples, but this AI coding can be creative in its solutions, and it can learn as it goes along. This addresses one of the key areas of criticism, AI coding. There are complaints about the quality of the code, and those are largely being addressed. There's complaints about the security of the code, and that we could have a way to go on. But the third one has always been the blockbuster. The code is just not very creative. It can't solve problems unless it's already encountered them and can pick that up from somebody else's code. Therefore, we need programmers to do that. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm going on the claims that Google is making, but if what they're saying is accurate, we may have crossed a new threshold in code development. One of the first places that Google applied this is their data center operations, hardware design, and AI training processes. Alpha Evolve improved Google's cluster management system, which they call the Borg, and resulted in recovering an average of 0.07% of computing resources. It did this by optimizing scheduling algorithms and understanding issues in the vast array of CPUs that Google is running. Additionally, it contributed to hardware advancements by refining the arithmetic circuits in Google's tensor processing units, or TPUs, which will lead to more efficient chip designs. And in case 0.07% sounds trivial, you've got to apply that across the millions and millions of processors in data centers all around the world. And then, this optimization has generated substantial value. Elon Musk's AI chatbot Grok experienced a malfunction on May 14th, leading it to reply to numerous unrelated tweets with information about a debunked white genocide conspiracy. Users on X, formerly Twitter, reported that Grok was responding to a variety of posts, including innocuous content like pet photos and TV show discussions, with unsolicited messages about white genocide and a "kill the Boer" chant. In one instance, a user posted a video of a cat playing in a sink, to which Grok replied with a detailed explanation about the contentious nature of white genocide claims in South Africa. So, the good news is it was debunking what it termed to be the white genocide myth with statements like, "The claim of white genocide in South Africa is highly contentious and lacks credible evidence. Official data shows farm attacks are part of general crime, not racially targeted." and the behavior persisted for several hours before it was corrected. Now, what caused the misbehavior hasn't been identified, or that hasn't been revealed yet, but the incident did coincide with political developments, including a recent executive order by President Donald J. Trump granting refugee status to some Afrikaners, in which he referred to as justified by his claim of genocide occurring in South Africa. So did Grok learn from that? We don't know. Grok, developed by Musk's AI, is designed to provide real-time information by analyzing content on X. However, this incident highlights the challenge of allowing AI chatbots to both learn and actively participate on social media platforms, especially when they engage in sensitive and controversial topics without appropriate context. It also raises concerns about the reliability and moderation of AI-driven interaction on social media. Glitches like this could just as easily spread misinformation or lend credibility to debunked conspiracy theories. As AI tools become more integrated into social platforms, ensuring their accuracy and contextual appropriateness is going to become increasingly critical. And finally, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, speaking at a session at Sequoia Capital, revealed an interesting observation. Various age groups use ChatGPT in different ways. He noted that older individuals often use ChatGPT as a search engine alternative, but those in their 20s and 30s, Altman said, use it more like a life advisor. And further, college students, according to Altman, take that a step further, using ChatGPT as what he described as an operating system for their lives. They use it effectively to link a number of files. They have complex prompts memorized in their heads or somewhere they can paste them in and out. And he's noticed that these younger individuals consult ChatGPT before making major life decisions, relying on its comprehensive understanding of their personal contexts. And while a lot of publications have run with this, most have missed that Altman talked about how this was in part made possible because of ChatGPT's memory. It can now remember things about you and make recommendations based on your preferences. So it made me wonder about how much data ChatGPT was storing and remembering about all these users. If you remember, I did another story earlier this year where I asked ChatGPT to tell me what it thought about me, and it produced a strikingly accurate profile. And when Altman started talking about the differences in generational groups, I started to wonder, how much access does OpenAI have to all of the data about us? We know it wants to be a search engine replacement, but with the amount that it knows about all of us, could it also be used to analyze us? What about to target us or to convince us to purchase something? Could it be used by governments or others as a means of persuasion? And finally, what protection do we have? Now, the Europeans are struggling with this. They have some data protection rights, but they're still in the early stages of figuring out how these apply to generative AI. And in general, both in Europe and in North America, most of the focus has been on the copyright of the training data and those issues. Our personal data hasn't really been a focus in the US and Canada especially. But how much protection is there, or are there even ethical guidelines? And I remember back to the early days when we would wonder if we put our company data into ChatGPT, if it would remember it. And this caused a major backlash, and possibly as a result of that early kerfuffle, there are now ways in which you can opt out to keep your data from being used to train the model. But as I listened to Sam Altman's comments, I started to wonder, is it possible that Altman's insight is just from watching his employees or talking to groups? Or could it be from an analysis of users that ChatGPT and OpenAI can do? And as I said, it knows a lot about us. If we use it just for searches, that's something. But if we're talking about people using it to run every aspect of their lives, it's even more powerful. how much do we want it to know about us? How much do we want it to share? And when we're treating it like a friend or we're anthropomorphizing it and talking to it, how much do we want it to tell people about what we've talked to it about? What, if any, protections exist? And this could be an aspect of AI that has just slid by us. In preparation for our weekend show, I'm going to be doing a lot of looking into this to see what I can find out. We've had lots of concerns about AI, and so far, at least in North America, we haven't really put many protections in place. But this might be an aspect of AI that might just generate some action. And that's our show for today. It's been an AI kind of day today. And if these stories appeal to you, check us out this weekend when we'll bring our AI experts in on Project Synapse. And our topic for this weekend, which is a long weekend in Canada, will be, how do you explain AI to your friends who know nothing about it? That's Saturday on #Trending. And if you have questions you want us to cover, we record Friday morning, so send them to me right away at editorial@technewsday.ca, or catch me on LinkedIn, or if you're watching this on YouTube, just drop a note under the video. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.